Yo, what is going on, Steeler Nation? Welcome back to the Steel Factory podcast. This is episode 413. My name's Rion. I'm joined by my co-host Junior today.
What's up?
All right, so basically going to take a deep dive into what went wrong last night for the Steelers Cowboys game. As you can tell, I'm pretty tired. I was there last night. It was probably the weirdest experience I've had at a game, with the rain delay at all, and then just overall how the game went. But overall, what did you come away with at the end of the game yesterday before we get into the recap?
Um, it's tough to say. I want to say, it's a weird balance of like our defense, didn't do enough because we were in a position to win the game and we couldn't get a stop. Um, but at the same time, our defense did a whole lot. 3 turnovers, a blocked punt or a blocked field goal. And our offense really just couldn't get it going. There were like a few 3-and-outs here and there. And I part of me wants to say like this is Fields' worst game.
I will definitely say 100%. This is the first time Fields took a step back so far, 5 games in. Now, I don't know. We're 3-2. I don't know if this opens the door for Russ now. I don't know if the calf is going to be better all of a sudden. But if this is the end for, like, I guess the Fields experiment, we'll see. I wouldn't mind him having another go at it just because I really liked what I saw against the Colts. But, I mean, you could just point at the, 2 touchdowns in the first half through the first 5 games. That's 2 touchdowns in 10 quarters. That's not good, dude. That's really not good. And
Terrible.
I mean, it's bad when they're bringing up what the average was in terms of, like, I guess, yards and points in Matt Canada's last 5 games as OC compared to these first 5 games as Arthur Smith as OC. That's bad, dude. And I mean, you got to give them the benefit of the doubt. They're probably still learning an offense. Arthur Smith is still learning his personnel. All lines shot. Dude, we thought we'd be able to run the ball, and we did not at all.
No, I mean, look, we also thought we don't have Warren, we don't have Patterson. Both of them proved to be way better backs, at least in this system. I don't know. Again, dude, again with like the Najee stuff, it's like, is Najee good? Is he bad? Like, is he just good at the end of the season? It's like, but he doesn't seem to work in the system. There were definitely plays where the O-line was really failing him, where there was like a big hole wide open, but then people miss their blocks and he can just never hit it. And part of me thinks like Najee's just like so slow. He has no acceleration at all compared to Warren that feels way more like shot out of a cannon.
Yeah.
Like I feel Warren just seems so much quicker as soon as he gets the ball, and Najee, like he takes a lot longer to really get into any kind of.
It's getting quite redundant at this point about how we feel about Warren and Najee. I mean, we'll see how we're saying at the end of the year. We'll say, like, oh, I think Najee usually shows up. He did again. That's probably what's going to happen. But it's just getting to the point where it's just like Najee just can't handle the full workload, I guess, in the first 2 months of the season. And we're running those damn tosses,
I don't
like
know.
he's fucking Derrick Henry in 2019. It doesn't work. We ran that
Yeah,
way too much.
I don't. We think we did that like maybe 3 or 4 times. We threw out a pitch,
Yeah.
and only one of them looked okay.
Like, I
The
guess,
other one,
go for it.
no. I just want to say like, is it like, oh, maybe they want to give Najee time to really get up to speed, so he's off to like a running start. But I think there's better ways of doing that. Some of the like other run play calls don't make any sense either. Like, I know last week we were really hoping for more Fields designed runs,
And we did.
but
We got a couple.
yeah, no, but the way they went about it felt really like uninspired to me. It felt like we were running Wildcat basically, where
Oh,
they
yeah. I can see
snapped
that.
it and he instantly went for the run rather than like do any kind of play action misdirection
Which
stuff.
is which I thought
Which
I'd be getting at some beginning of some plays, but we just didn't. Especially on those
yeah,
counters to Najee, those tosses. I thought, like,
that's
that
like
would
the
open
whole
it up
point,
for
dude.
it. Yeah, it just didn't work. And then, I mean, just to finish off the whole terrible part of the offense, what's going on with George Pickens here? So we heard Tomlin say that he had a pitch count, which is bullshit because first of all, he's your only receiver. Let's be honest. I mean, he dropped the ball too, but these dudes were dropping balls left and right. I'm talking Connor Hayward on a third down. One went through right through Van Jefferson's hands. I felt like, especially on like third downs too, you like gotta have it downs. These dudes just drop the ball. And I'm finding out Pickens is not playing every snap because Tomlin wants to limit him so that he could have, I guess, more quality snaps when he's in there. It's like, dude, you take him out of the game. It's so obvious we're gonna run the fucking ball, right?
Yeah. I don't know why Pickens isn't in the game. Tomlin can say like, oh, we want to make sure he has more productive snaps, so we don't like there's rotating him in and out so he has better reps. But even then, like I part of me like there's a lot of bad vibes right there. I don't, and it's really only been like just this game,
Yeah, because he had a
you
good game
know?
against the Colts. I mean, granted, we had to
Yeah.
start airing it out, and then he had the eye black always fucking open.
Yeah, so I don't know like what's going on. Like always fucking open. It's like okay, like that's kind of good vibes, but then it's like oh he's not in on every play or as many as we can be, and he never has been that receiver. Like we've definitely like let's say like third downs where we're gonna like obviously make a run or have a run play. Like he's not in those plays most of the time, and it's probably because he's not that great of a blocker. Um,
He is though. That's what we thought, right?
it's not a
He was always pushing
it's more of
corners
an
off the line of scrimmage.
it's an effort thing then because he took like plays off. He took like he obviously wasn't getting the ball in some of the plays, and he was just kind of walking through the route. So it's weird because it's like that kind of takes away from the whole oh we want more productive snaps from Pickens even if we get less of them. Well, it's
Yeah,
like okay, well the ones that he's in on you have effort issues because he knows he's not getting the ball and he's not even running the route. Um,
yeah. And I noticed that too. Like, oh, there's times where it's like, okay, why'd you just take George
so
out? Like, I see him on the sidelines right now. What the fuck?
So like, yeah, that's the weird thing with Pickens right now. It's just like really, really bad vibes, bad vibes. And no matter what Tomlin says about like, oh, limiting of snaps or it not being like a character issue, everything kind of stacked on top of it. And Pickens is kind of, we all know he's a little bit of a, he's got like, I don't know if diva is the right word, but he definitely
He's
has,
a wide receiver. I mean, that's how they
yeah,
all are, dude.
Pickens is not. Yeah, he's a wide receiver. He's got that like flair to him and that kind of
It's
just
double
that
edged sword.
edginess.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's kind of cutting us right now. So I don't know what's going on there. It's really weird. We'll see if we get anything out of it throughout the week, or we'll see if maybe it is just a blip. Maybe he's gonna get traded, right? Like that we saw that thrown out there, and we're trying to limit him, but it doesn't make any sense to trade him either because he
yeah.
would be
I
a
mean,
fantastic number two behind Devontae.
it's starting to piss me off first and foremost because if we trade him, like, because here we are, like, dude, all right, since we drafted George Pickens, right, we traded Chase Claypool in the middle of his rookie year, which honestly that's probably hurt Kenny Pickett too in his rookie year. Trade Claypool, granted everyone was hyped about the trade. Yeah, we got Joey Porter Jr. out of it. We had the 32nd overall pick, whatever. And then a year later we trade Deontay, right? I mean, we hated Deontay as much as anyone did, right? The drops, the running backwards, whatever. And then all we've gotten back from that to fill the receiver room is fucking Roman Wilson, and he's yet to see the fucking field. We've got not gotten anything from the wide receiver position outside of Pickens in the last 3 years, or added to the room at all.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. We used to be able to churn these guys out, and obviously part of that was having an elite quarterback that could make it easy on them and make plays work. Especially Ben, who was able to extend plays and guys could kind of work with that.
I feel like when Fields do
Um,
that yesterday, it was just so sloppy. I mean, let's get into Fields too. To finish out that,
Fields looked
yeah,
good.
they're like, yeah, we extend the plays, and then it just looked like he was just throwing up lollipops to
Yeah,
whoever was he was trying to get the ball to, whether it be Pickens, fucking who's is it Van Jefferson? Who's wearing 11 right now? It's not Allen Robinson, right? It's Van Jefferson. I don't
I
even
think it
fucking
is
care at this
Jefferson.
point,
Yeah,
dude.
it look, dude. Honestly, part of it, and maybe this is me like connecting dots that aren't there. So On the broadcast, I don't know if you saw the clip I sent you because you were at the game, and on the
Oh,
broadcast they were
about
saying,
how that's gonna be Russ when he's back now at this point.
yeah, that Russ is feeling good, that he's gonna be back, and he next week he's feeling good, right? Russ is gonna be back next week is basically what the broadcast was saying in those kinds of words. And in the middle of the game when I heard that, I was a little bit like, oh, like it was a little weird, but I kind of just waved it off. But now that I'm like thinking about it, like Fields looked really sloppy. He looked like very disengaged, I want to say.
You think he
That
found
that's the
out that he's not gonna, it's still gonna be Russ or what?
that's the kind of vibe that I'm getting. It's that like even throughout the whole game, Fields looked really like he wasn't all there. He didn't look he didn't look locked in basically. So maybe he got told, "Hey, Russ is healthy. We're gonna put him back in at starter next week. So just go out and play your ball,
Just
right?"
take care of
And
it.
then
Be the
yeah,
fucking
and then obviously no like you want him to be like a perfect professional and stay fucking dialed in and make sure he plays his best game. But at the same time, you if you're fucking working your ass off, for the job and you think it's going,
yeah. You're a month in at this
well,
point, just over a month in.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, you wanna think you have some sort of job security, and then maybe he got told, but we don't know. We don't know. This could all be bullshit, right? Fields looking disengaged because Russ is coming back next week, and he was told before the game. That could be complete bullshit. But it, for me, it makes some sense just because that's just how it looked, and those are
yeah.
the tea leaves that we're getting right now.
It just yeah, it just looked like he was serving lollipops on those like extended plays. Just like you have a cannon, dude. Fucking use it. Like, why are you
Yeah,
not throwing fucking darts? It kind of just seems like you're just floating it up right there. I'm not saying they looked lazy. It just looked like they could have had. They didn't have full effort into them. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
So there were definitely a few throws. I think like on like short yardage situations where Fields kind of try to uh, float it above a defender and into a guy, and he just has no touch on those. Or I don't know if that's like Fields not having like a great feel for the ball,
Yeah,
or if maybe he's just like fuck this, dude. Like he's just kind of going through the motions of the offense at that point.
yeah. I mean, it sounds like we're all of a sudden just kind of being fair weather towards Fields because we were really excited about him these first few weeks. But I mean, yeah, this was the first game he kind of took a step back. Um, and yeah, I mean, it was kind of noticeable. I don't know what Dallas had there, what kind of coverages they were showing him, what kind of looks they had, but I mean, they didn't have Parsons, they didn't have Lawrence. This was supposed to be a game where the offense should have thrived, and they had 3 points in the first half.
No, exactly. Like I remember seeing all over the timeline like this Dallas defense doesn't have its best players, and it wasn't even that good to begin with. How are we not doing more? How are we looking so toothless?
Yeah,
And again, it's like, yeah,
he had
it,
three
it looked
turnovers in the blocked kick too.
yeah, it
Really
looked like
weird,
an
dude.
effort issue is the thing, like you can say like, oh, you guys are so flip floppy on Fields, and not that we were like ever huge like Fields guys, right? We weren't the ones saying like, oh, we need to fucking lock him down for 2 years, 60 million, like
We
right
were
now, like we gotta,
optimistic from what we saw, and especially after the Colts
yeah.
game. I mean, the number one thing was you saw him improve week in, week out.
Yeah,
And
we saw him like clean up all the mistakes that people talked about, and we saw him make plays. And then we finally saw him kind of take over games if needed. And then today it looks like he can't do any of that. He made some like quick decisive throws on like first and second down,
yeah, he looked
but
good in the weighty downs. And at the end of the game, we finally kind of put it together. You had 2 touchdowns, right? But dude, like, why are we waiting till the fourth quarter when we're down to open up the playbook again? You know what I mean?
no, exactly. Like we're playing so we don't look aggressive at all. We're like playing to not lose the first 3 quarters instead of like really pushing the envelope
Yeah,
and making it and putting the onus on us to score rather than like the the onus on the defense to not let them score. And it sucks. That's as much as like the game has kind of zagged back into like ball control and run game and controlling the clock and tempo. Like you still need to be able to score points. It's not it's not it's not that era of football anymore where you can just completely rely on defense and you can put up 12 points.
Yeah, I mean, I just look at the stats right now. Dak, 29 for 42, 352 yards. They're moving the ball all day. I mean, the only reason they didn't get more points is because the defense came up clutch with some picks in the red zone, and especially that fumble too. And
They were moving the
Fields,
ball all
Fields,
day.
15 for 27, 131 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, dude.
The defense looked so sloppy. There were third downs all
Yeah, again,
game that
man.
they were just churning out. Like I don't know the exact stat. I think it was like 9 of 14 or
I feel
something,
like
which is
Beanie Bishop was just getting picked on the whole fucking time.
Beanie Bishop was
Felt like,
terrible, and people might criticize that timeout at the end of the game, uh, where Tomlin, like the very last timeout we took,
yeah,
right, where we got the Cowboys lineup, and then we took a timeout, but it's because Beanie Bishop was on CD Lamb, like of course you have to take a timeout. You're gonna lose. It's
yeah,
like you either lose then or yeah, you're just gonna lose that matchup every day of the week. So that wasn't like again, that's nothing against Tomlin right there. Like I think you have to take that time out. But again, it's like man, we're seeing these issues over and over again.
yeah. I mean, I thought
So
the
we're not
defense
getting
looked okay for playing a good quarterback and a good offense. That was kind of starting to turn it around against the Giants, right? Like, and then they had that Thursday nighter. They had an extra good couple of days too, prepare. But I mean, that's bullshit. I forgot what my next point was, dude. I'm honestly just really kind of pissed off. I mean, we fell to 3-2. We're tied with the Ravens now after starting 3-0.
there
We got the
were communication
Raiders.
issues.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think too. I heard
On
losing Herbig too.
oh yeah, we couldn't get any pressure on them in the second or after Herbig was gone. Like we couldn't get anything on Dak. We really couldn't touch him after that. And it sucks because we were dominating. We were dominating at that point with Herbig. Herbig was putting on a clinic against their right tackle. I'm not sure his name, um, but it sucks. Like he went down and we couldn't really do anything about it. And then Dak would have basically all day back there. And on top of that, our defense was having communication issues. For example, like there's that huge play down the sideline, I think to Tolbert, where uh where Dante Jackson
Yeah,
he like he kind of like settles into a flat on the zone when he should have been
yeah.
just keeping
There's,
up with him the whole time.
I
So
don't
then he's
hate
wide
our zone so
open.
much. I hate our zone so much. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
Dak.
mean,
Look, Dak is gonna pick apart zones, especially bad zones like the ones we were putting out last night. Like
yeah,
he is a good enough quarterback to do that. Like he can do that.
yeah. I mean, defense is always just gonna flow to the outside linebackers, the edge rushers, and once Herbig went down, we had probably a practice squad guy in there with Watt. I mean, Watt looked really good as well for the amount of guys they were throwing at him too. I felt like, um,
He was getting chipped like two or three
yeah,
times every snap, and
yeah.
like he's a monster, but at the same time he can't do it all by himself.
No, yeah, exactly. And then, dude, it's the defense did enough, dude. I mean, the fact that it had to be on them to get that last stop and it went down to a fourth down after the 3 turnovers and the block field goal, that's just the real, that's twisting the knife, dude. That's what sucks. And I mean, you got to just point at the offense only having 3 points in the first half. You got to see what they're going to do moving forward. I guess just like you said, this opens the door for Russ to come back now. You really kind of, any speculation that Fields was kind of winning them over, kind of gone at this point. I mean, Tomlin won, unless he was winning the game, Tomlin would have kept them in. And I'm pretty sure if winning the game 10-9 would have been enough, honestly, because that's really what we're going for, just fucking winning in these fucking low scoring games.
Yeah, look, I think even if you want to put it like this, dude, like Tomlin's maybe not super ideal game-winning scenarios here. I'm sure like uh his perfect like end game situation is definitely us having the ball and kind of running down the clock with a lead,
With
right?
running
And
by
like
running it, yep.
yeah, uh but the defense having to stop an offense that needs to put up a touchdown and there's 75 yards between them and the touchdown, like that is definitely up there as far as like scenarios that he wants to be put in at the end of a game to win the game. So at the end of the day, like oh, this should be like Tomlin's bread and butter. and it's not, you know,
Yeah,
it's not really doing the job anymore.
he got worked by McCarthy. They started running the ball when we really thought they were gonna pass it. The run worked. They went into like a 4 minute offense pretty much to start.
We
And then
couldn't
yeah,
stop
they got
Dowdle
they
at
got into the
all.
red zone within 1 minute, and that's really all you got to do. What's it called? Stripping that ball on that, was it first or second down run play?
Oh yeah, by Roberts. That was
Yeah,
sick.
we should have got, if we got that recovery, dude. Heinz Field would
I
have
know.
went fucking insane. But yeah,
Yeah.
that
No,
that sucked.
I do agree though. Like this is not on the defense. They made all the plays in the world. Like um, yeah, they did all the plays in the world. I'm sure there was like an interception that we got, and then we immediately had a 3-and-out, and they were right back out there.
Yeah,
Um, or something close to a 3-and-out. We didn't we had so many punts. The offense is so it was just so bad. It was so bad, and if it's Fields or Najee having 14 carries for 42 yards,
pathetic.
that's that's disgusting, dude. Like,
And how many
but
targets did Pickens have? If I just read off that Fields had 27 attempts, right?
let me see. Pickens had
I want to say three, right?
no, he had 3 catches.
How many
I
targets?
mean,
Hey,
yeah, I
ESPN
mean
usually shows the targets.
they usually that matters a lot. Let me see.
Um, One moment. 7. Okay, that's not bad. All right. Didn't feel like that.
It didn't feel like that, but some of them were really bad. Obviously, like he dropped one. Another one went right over his head.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, I mean, we go on and on like about this rant about the team, but really, I mean, my one leaving point is, do you think Russ comes back genuinely on Sunday?
that's for me. That's still really hard to say. Tomlin, dang, I don't know. Tomlin is the type to bring Russ back. I think Fields is not how Tomlin wants to play, and you can tell by the way that like I'm talking in this. I'm talking in the sense of like, what is Tomlin gonna do, rather than what I think will be the long term benefit of the team,
Yeah.
right? So obviously, like long term benefit, you want to play out the season with Fields to see what you have, and maybe like, oh, maybe he does play really well.
And
And
ultimately,
you,
playing is what helps you improve too. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. But as far as what I think Tomlin is gonna do, I think Tomlin doesn't like Fields' game. I think Tomlin doesn't like um, how bad he can be. Uh, like last week against the Colts, he had 2 very, very classic Fields plays in the sense that they were terrible. Um, Yesterday, nothing, so bad,
He did fumble, but we
but
recovered too. But yeah,
yeah. Uh, but I think he wants Russ just to kind of like steady the ship. I think he's gonna want to play like like Twilight Years Ben Roethlisberger,
yeah,
uh, where just kind of meandering their way down the field, and nothing crazy as far as the quarterback goes. So I think we might bring. I think there's a good chance we bring back Bruss, especially if if that's what the broadcast is saying. Usually broadcasts and in most of like the big mainstream like sports kind of channels, they want to drum up interests and controversy and storylines, right?
yeah,
So they would be talking about like, oh, like will Tomlin put Russ back into the starting lineup next week? Like who knows, right? But if they're saying like, oh yes, Russ said when he's back next week to the starting, he's going for the 7th or whatever. So
yeah,
that already sounds like oh, maybe behind closed doors this is kind of a done deal. And maybe we're chumps because we actually believed that Fields had a good chance to take the starting role. Um, Even though Tomlin's been telling us
yeah. I mean, I
Russ is
mean,
the starter.
in Tomlin's press conferences too, he's kind of refused to make the statement though, to go ahead and reaffirm that Russ is still a starter, which kind of blows my mind. But maybe after losing to the Colts, that all changed. You know what I mean? Um, but my one thing too is also, I mean, if you could say that, yeah, they spent all training camp with Russ. I mean, yeah, that helps to go back to him. But at this point, the season's been as long as training camp was. They've been rolling with Fields getting the number 1 reps for 5 weeks now, including that first week in camp where Russ was down with the calf when it first came up. So I mean, we'll see. Obviously, I'm pretty sure we'll find out probably Friday or Saturday. Honestly, I don't see Tomlin revealing that throughout the week. I'm pretty sure a source from inside will come out and say it Friday morning or Saturday morning that Russ is the starter. If not, maybe Sunday before the game. But yeah, we'll be going to Vegas for a 4 p.m. game, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, we'll get into it later in the week in our second episode for the preview. But any closing thoughts before we wrap this up, dude?
This was a game that brought us back down to earth. We were 5-0 2 weeks ago, and today
on paper we saw we were 5-0.
I know. We were 5-0 2 weeks ago, and today we're 3-2, and we're definitely not as good as we thought. And Fields is the kind of player that we thought he would be a couple months ago, highs and lows.
Yeah.
So we'll see if we want to roll through with them.
I mean, everything is on matchups. I mean, we went up against a Shane Steichen that really has picked us apart the last few years, and a McCarthy that pretty much has had Tomlin's number too. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you guys are feeling down like us, it's okay. On to next week. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a rating on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And yeah, peace out. Here we go, Steelers.